Well, greetings again, everybody. Thirsty listeners for the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. We're now going to start with the Rasa Panchadhyaya, which means the five discourses that deal or treat with the topic of the Rasa Leela. So it's very wonderful. We had last time the Govardhan Leela and Nanda's kidnapping and being taken to Varuna, Krishna saving him, coming back, the residents of Gokula wondering what their future might be when they heard about Krishna's opulence and how a ruling divinity of the god of the waters, Varuna, had worshipped Krishna in Nanda's presence. So when Nanda told them all this, they wondered what would be their lot at the end of it all. So Krishna, cognizing their thoughts, decided to show them a vision of his supreme form and Vaikuntha and everything. And then he brought them back to Braja. So with that begins the Rasa Panchadhyaya, which is the central theme of the Srimad Bhagavatam, whereas the Bhagavat is the body compared to the body of Krishna. So the first canto are his feet, second canto his legs, third canto, etc. It goes up. The 10th canto is his smiling face, but the five chapters of the Rasa Leela are his five vital airs. So I'll say a Mangalacharana and then begin reading. Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Vitangsha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nigamakal Galitam Phalam Shukamukad Amritadrava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Mubhibhavuka. So Sri Shuka said, well actually Sri Badarayani said, the Sharat lotus and sweet jessamine surcharge the atmosphere with scent divine, which seeing in the Lord desired to sport, and to his yoga power had resort. So that is Bhagavan Apita Ratri Sarad Utfulla Mallikaha Viksha Rantum Manaschakre Yogamayam Upasritaha. The monarch of the stars, that is the moon, then rose to view and daubs the blushing east with a roseate hue. E'en as a lover parted and lovelorn, his lady's face with kumkum would adorn, who absent from her lord for many a day, the burning heat of passion would allay. The balmy moonlight o'er Brindavan spreads, and silver light throughout the forest sheds. When Krishna saw the lily's friend arise, again that's another epithet for the moon, the lily's friend, surveyed the charming prospect with his eyes, was reminded of the pleasing grace of Goddess Rama's beautiful bright face, and then began to play his sweet, sweet pleasing strains upon his flute, which captivates proud dames. The cowherd dames, when they that music heard, Cupid increased, and strong passion was stirred. Though Braja's damsels were at home confined, the thought of Krishna seized upon their mind, and were distracted quite and without heed, each unknown to each other, they proceed, with swaying earrings which radiance lent, and to where he waited they swiftly went. Some of them, milking cows, disquieted, abandoned the task and away they sped. Some left milk boiling over in a pot, and others in the oven cakes forgot, while some were dressing, some their infants fed, some served their husbands, but away they fled. Some stopped eating the meal they had begun, forsaking all, towards Krishna they run. Some of them were applying fragrant scent, and some smeared their eyes with Kajala ointment, and with gems and garments in disarray, to Krishna's presence all hastened away. Although by husbands and by fathers chid, brothers and relatives sought to forbid, in vain, since they could not be so confined, as Govinda captivated their mind. Some cowherd dames who could not gain egress from their inner chambers, nevertheless, with eyes closed, deep contemplation maintained, and absorption in Krishna they attained. The pang of separation, like hot fire, purged them of all inauspicious desire. Conceiving his embrace in ecstasy, exhausted all their store of piety. Although he is the mighty Lord Supreme, they knew him as but their lover. No, although he is the mighty Supreme Lord, they knew him as but their lover adored. They left their mortal bodies suddenly, and from the bonds of existence were free. The king said, Krishna they knew as but their lover dear, and not as Brahman, absolute, O seer. How was it they were from all bondage free, engrossed as they were in the gunas three? Sri Shuka said, do you not remember what I had said? How Chaitya, e'en by hate, was perfected? What blessing then do you think they might gain, who fondness for a Akshoksaja maintain? Ineffable truth is beyond the reach of man's conception, intellect, or speech, yet incarnates himself, O noble king, and thereby to the world doth fortune bring, whether from love or fear, oneness or rage, in friendship or affection they engage, their minds in him, and thus preoccupied, are automatically purified. Be not surprised or over wonder much if the deeds of the birthless Lord be such. For Krishna is the Lord of mystic lords, whose salvation to the whole world affords. When he saw Braja's damsels had arrived, the Lord illustrious thereon contrived a speech fraught with eloquence and refined, which only served to bewilder their mind. The illustrious one said, welcome indeed, ye highly blessed ones. What can I do for you, far from your homes? The reasons for your coming here, pray tell. Are all concerns in Braja faring well? This darksome night a fearful aspect wears. The forest teems with nocturnal creatures. Return to Braja, as stern duty claims. This is no place for dainty-waisted dames. Your parents, children, brethren, husbands too, distressed will make a frantic search for you. It is not meet you cause them such chagrin. Hence to your homes you must return again. You have indeed beheld with full delight the forest bathed in the balmy moonlight. Yamuna's sandy banks, lined with tall trees, whose leaves are set a-tremble by the breeze. Therefore, O chaste and pious ladies, hie to Braja, where your little babies cry. To tend the newborn calves you must repair to Braja, and to serve your husbands there. Or did your love for me your steps impel? For verily, all creatures love me well. You're venturing into the darksome night. Now, Scripture says, distinguishing the right, the best course for a life of piety for good wives is to keep fidelity, to serve their husbands and his kith and kin, and selflessly take care of their children. A husband, be he poor, foolish, unfit, unfortunate, unworthy, devoid of wit, a faithful life should serve with firm intent, unless he is a brute or violent. For ladies of a noble pedigree, a lawless passion is most blameworthy, pernicious, misguided, and fraught with shame, a bar to heaven, bringing them ill fame. By hearing, seeing, thinking of my fame, absorbed in me by praising of my name, and by such means you may to me attain, not by contact. Therefore, go home again. Sri Shuka said. Thus, Govinda, his speech to them addressed, displeasing much, at which they were distressed. Their cherished hopes had been proved to be vain, and suffered them insufferable pain. With their bright countenances drooping low, they parched their very lips with sighs of woe. When their longing was thus unrequited found, they with their toenails scratched the yielding ground. The tears which their hearts' overflow expressed washed off the saffron powder from their breast, and burdened by excess of misery, they bore the weight of sorrow silently. Although he was their beloved most dear, Krishna had spoke as if he did not care, for whose dear sake they had abandoned all selfishness and renounced stern duty's call. With intermittent sobs and scorching sighs, they wiped away the tears that filled their eyes. With broken speech, by rising passion moved, in words like these, his haughty speech reproved. The cowherd damsel said, Oh, speak not so to us, Almighty Lord. You should not say to us such cruel words. It is not meet our hearts thou thus shouldst break, who have forsaken all for your dear sake, and sought with zeal the souls of your blessed feet, e'en as his ardent votaries entreat the primal being to propitiate and revel in the liberated state. Of woman's pious duty, which you tell to husband, children, relatives as well, is proper, even as thou dost extol, but all for thee, O lover of the soul. The wise sages in you alone delight, as the eternal self their love requite. And what true happiness then could there be in spouses, children, home, and family? Therefore, O Lord supreme of high renown, have mercy on us, and do not cut down our long cherished hopes. Grant to us the prize of your favor, O Lord of lotus eyes. You have with ease enthralled our hearts and mind, which erst were to our household chores confined. Our legs cannot even one step retreat away from the soles of your lotus feet. Hence, how to Braja could our steps retrace, and what, alas, should we do in that place? Sprinkle our bodies and put out the fire which rages in our hearts, born of desire, with the ambrosia of charming smiles and loving glances which the heart beguiles. Since dulcet strains of the flute which delights the flames of love within our heart ignites. But if to this you will not condescend, we shall by meditation, dearest friend, like contemplative saints who strive to gain your grace unto your lotus feet attain. Even goddess Rama, O lotus-eyed, is rarely by your foot's touch gratified. But simple folk who in the forest dwell bear love for you. You also love them well. And what time we the touch of your feet gain, before another we cannot remain. The goddess of affluence and beauty must vie in fortune with sacred Tulsi, since, though your bosom be her resting place, though all the gods earnestly seek her grace, yet she with sacred Tulsi must compete in service rendered to your lotus feet. We too commend ourselves into your trust and revel in your pollen-like foot dust. Have mercy on us and afford relief, O you who assuage every creature's grief. We have renounced our homes for your dear sake, and refuge at your lotus feet now take. Since with your handsome smiles and glances bright, intense passion does in our hearts ignite, O jewel of mankind, in solicitude we pray, grant us your loving servitude. To see your face concealed by loosened hairs, and glistening pendants dangling from your ears, reflecting on your cheeks a pearly sheen, and glances that with love and laughter gleam. Your mighty arms which fearlessness provide, your bosom where Sri Devi does abide, and revels in love sports, thus so may we, your confidential faithful servants be. What woman, hearing the sweet strings you play upon the flute, would not be led astray? Your beauty makes the three worlds fortunate. Cows, birds, and deer, and trees horripilate. 'Tis clear, in Braja you have taken birth to dissipate the burden of the earth, even as the ancient and primal Lord does to the realm of gods safety afford. Grant us, therefore, O friend of the distressed, with lotus hands to touch our head and breast. Sri Shuka said, having their lamentation thus outpoured, expressive of their grief, the yoga's lord heard with compassion and smiling complied to revel with them, though self-satisfied. And thereon, like the deer marked, that's the moon, radiant amid the stars, lights up the firmament, surrounded by a crowd of his consorts, the Lord Achyuta revelled in love sports. With blooming eyes they gaze on him the while, enamoured of his magnanimous smile, which smile with love and tenderness did shine, revealing teeth like buds of jessamine. Thus roaming through the forest with delight, and with a bright victory garland dight, and singing in high melodious strains, attended by hundreds of cowherd dames, they came unto the river's shelving strand, where like cool snow in moonlight glowed the sand, where lilies bloomed, joyful and redolent, where the soft breeze conveyed their fragrant scent. He threw his arms around their waist and thighs, with smiling glances from his lotus eyes. He stroked their hands and hair, their belts unlaced, he pinched and scratched, hands on their bosom placed, with his playful discourse and witty jokes, in grudges beauties Cupid's force provokes. Thus having gained Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the great being, almighty and adored, these damsels in their fortune did confide, and sporting with him became full of pride. But Keshav, marking their vanity, arising from their pride of dignity, to show them grace and their pride to diminish, he from their midst did suddenly vanish. Thus ends chapter 29. Chapter 30. Sri Shuka said, when from among them the Lord had vanished, the cowherd dames were distraught and anguished, like a herd of cow elephants, woeful, when they lose sight of the elephant bull. Remembering his love, compassionate, his glances and his smiles, his stately gait, the loving conversations which they had engrossed their consciousness and made them mad. They thus identified their minds, absorbed, and reenacted sports of Rama's Lord, his kind gestures and loving eloquence, the motions of his limbs, his smiling glance. They imitated in their ecstasy Krishna's exploits and exclaimed, I am he. They gathered in a group and began to sing his deeds in raised voices while wandering through each forest, and made inquiries of their beloved from the stately trees, since, like the rarefied subtle ether, he exists within, without, everywhere. O Aswatha, Plaksha, and Nyagrodha, these are trees, have you seen perchance the son of Nanda? He left us here, captivating our hearts by his smiling glance and endearing arts. Kurabaka, Ashoka, and Naga trees, Punnaga, Champak, tell us if you please, where is Rama's younger, who thus beguiles proud damsels with his affectionate smiles? O most auspicious Tulsi, we entreat, thou best beloved at Govinda's feet, attracting swarms of bees by your pure scent, tell us which way our dear Achyuta went. O Malati, O Mallika, we pray, O Jati, Yutika, tell us the way, since by your rising sprouts we understand Madhava came and touched you with his hand. O Chuta, Priyala, Pasana, Panasatu, O Asana, Kovidar, and Jambu, Arka, Bilva, Bakula, Amra, here, Kadamba, and Nipa, who flourish here, beside Jamuna's sandy, shelving shore, disposed to helping others, we implore. Tell us the path where Krishna we may find, for he has captivated quite our mind. O Goddess Earth, what penance have you done, whereby you have attained the benison, and with the flourishing of joy are blessed, to bear Keshava's feet upon your breast? Or was it earlier, when you were graced, when he of mighty strides across you paced? Or was it, perchance, in ages before, when he embraced you as the cosmic boar? O friend, wife of the black buck, can you say, have you seen Achyuta come by this way? With his beloved lady, did he bless your eyes with his beauty? Oh, do confess. For here we apprehend the fragrance rare of scented flower garlands worn by her, with the red powder smeared upon his chest, transferred when he with his embrace compressed. O noble trees, we see you bowing low, Did Rama's younger brother this way go, attended by a swarm of drunken bees, attracted by the tulsi manjaris, entwined within his jasmine garland bright, taking with his beloved his delight, with one hand on her shoulder and the other twirling a fragrant blooming lotus flower? And did he accept your homage perchance, and cast on you his affectionate glance? Ah, but let us ask the creepers in this place, who with their tendrils their husband trees embrace. Indeed, the fresh new sprouts standing erect, the marks of Krishna's scratches we detect. Thus raving in divine beatitude, their eager search for Krishna they pursue, and the Almighty's deeds they imitate, absorbed in him in the unitive state. One damsel, with her consciousness absorbed, assumed the role of Putana, a bawd, while yet another feigned her breast to suck. The cart demon another damsel struck. This damsel played the part of the sandstorm, the abduction of the babe to perform, while yet this other crawled about the ground, and tinkling anklets on her feet resound. A pair of cowherd damsels, as they stroll, of Krishna and Rama assume the role, while others take the part of cowherd boys, and one the wicked calf demon destroys. This cowherd damsel Krishna's part doth play, and calls the herds while they at distance stray, and making melody as the flute's song, the others, as cowherds, her praise prolong. Another with her arm upon her friend, as they through fragrant shady bowers wend, identified with Krishna and elate, said, I am Krishna, see my charming gait. Fear not the wind and rain, another said, and lifted up her garment o'er her head. I shall protect you from all scathe and harm, and stood as Krishna held Mount Govardhan. One damsel played the evil serpent dread, another danced a measure on her head, and said, Begone, avaunt, your way pursue, I have been warned the wicked to subdue. Fear not, another cowherd damsel said, nor by the fire be disquieted. I shall relieve you of your present woes. Your eyes, confiding in my power, close. This damsel sought her companion to bind unto the mortar and keep her confined. The other played her part with all the charm, expressing in her countenance alarm. Thus, searching and making inquiries of Brindaban's creepers and stately trees, there, in a certain spot, on a sudden, they saw the footprints of the mighty one. One said, See, these are the signs his feet adorn, the flag, the lotus, gold, and barley corn, the thunderbolt, and more, all clearly shown. These are the footprints of Nanda's son unknown. These, they followed the footprints along the way. These tender damsels were struck with dismay when they the footprints of that damsel viewed, who favoured was with him in solitude. Who is that lovesome damosel, they said, who has a way by Nanda's son been led, and like the female elephant preferred, is taken by the leader of the herd? She certainly has worshipped and adored Almighty Hari, the worshipful Lord, since Govinda has taken her alone to some shady covert, and to some shady covert with her gone. O friends, how blessed, with good fortune replete, is sacred dust from Sri Govinda's feet, for Brahma, Isha, and Rama apply that dust upon their heads to purify. Look here, her footprints we no longer see, the reason whereof, in all certainty, the prickly sprouts her tender feet would pain, and so that lover lifted up his dame. See here, his footprints more deeply impressed, the extra burden of her weight attest. And here the lover placed his sweet love down to cull flowers and make a flower crown. See here the prince, but partially impressed, since as his consort sat by here to rest, while he the lofty growing flowers chose, he gathered them while standing on his toes. And certainly they sat down over there, where the fond lover decked his damsel's hair. He sported thus, though he always remains self-satisfied in bliss that never wanes. He showed what wretched state may thus ensue when passionate men young ladies pursue. As the cowherd damsels thus ambulate, searching about for signs disconsolate, the other cowherd damsel who had gone into seclusion with Krishna alone, now thought herself the best of womankind, since for her sake all others he resigned. He, though impelled by strong passion may be, he has chosen to sport alone with me. Thus, as the couple through the forest pressed, the damsel Keshava proudly addressed, I cannot proceed further, wearied so. You must convey me where you wish to go. Thus having heard his sweet lady's account, he said to her, then come, my shoulders mount. Then sudden Krishna, having her addressed, vanished, and left her there sorely depressed. O master, lover, whither have you gone? Where are you, mighty armed beloved one? This serving maid laments despondently. O friend, be kind and show yourself to me. Sri Shuka said, the cowherd damosels forthwith pursued the path when they at no great distance viewed their friend distressed, forlorn, disconsolate, disparted, and bemoaning her estate. From her all that had transpired they heard, how Madhava had much honour conferred, but disregarded when her pride he saw, which filled them all with astonishment and awe. And then their eager search they continued, their way into the deep forest pursued, so long as the bright moon his radiance shed, and then their steps retraced, disquieted. With their minds engrossed in him they converse about his deeds, his behavior, and rehearse his qualities in loud melodious tones, forgetful of themselves and of their homes. Again to Kalindi's bank they return, thinking of Sri Krishna for whom they yearn, and gathering together in a throng, invoke Krishna's presence in charming song. End of chapter 30. So I'll just read one more, which is a shortish one, shortish. It's a few shlokas, but they're all long shlokas. So this is Gopi Geetam, Jayati Te begins like that. The cowherd damsels sang. The glory of Vrindavana excels, since Lady Fortune Indira here dwells. And by your birth here in this pastoral town, the earth is sanctified with pure renown. O dearest love, if only we may gain a look at you, our breath we might sustain. It is for your dear sake we wander thus. Be kind, dear Lord, and show yourself to us. Your bright smiling glance, O Lord of love play, surpasseth all the charm and fair display, when the autumnal blooming lotus shows its delicate interior, which glows upon the bosom of a lovely pond. If you, O boon giver, do not respond to us who are your slaves gratuitous, should not such conduct be deemed murderous? O most accomplished Lord, repeatedly you have saved us from dire perplexity, from pestilential waters in the lake, from the demon appearing as a snake, from rain, from wind, from lightnings, flashing fire, from Maya's son, and from Arishta's ire. Indeed, you are not of the cowherdess, merely the Son, but the inner witness of all embodied souls, to grant the prayer of the Creator and protect and spare, to save the world from dire calamity. You have been born in Yadu's dynasty. O foremost of the Vishnus, your feet grant fearlessness to the praying supplicant. O Lord beloved, your lotus hand place on our heads and afford to us your grace. It was that gracious hand, rich in bounty, with which you clasped the hand of Goddess Shri. O gallant hero, for the folk who dwell in Braja you their misery dispel. Your sweethearts are relieved of their vain pride by your beguiling smiles, O lotus-eyed. Accept us, friend, as serving maids, and thus reveal your handsome lotus face to us. Bodied souls who bow to your feet and pray, all their impurity you wipe away. Upon those feet you tend the grazing kine. They are the home of Goddess Sri divine. Upon those tender lotus feet you stood and pressed upon the serpent's hissing hood. The touch of those feet to our breast impart, and thus assuage the passion in our heart. Your sweet speeches, O Lord of lotus eyes, and eloquence infatuate the wise. Your conversation, hero of mankind, affords only confusion to our mind. Thus, as your maid's attendant, we implore, grant us your lip nectar and life restore. The glory of your deeds, like nectar sweet, is balm to soothe the life of scorching heat, which poets and bards honor and proclaim, which wipes away of sin the taint and stain. Merely the hearing of those wondrous deeds is auspicious, whence good fortune proceeds, and those who such topics disseminate are most munificent and truly great. Your fond glances and smiles with love elate, and deeds are auspicious to contemplate. Your secret talks within our hearts enshrine, brings only agitation to our mind. When on your feet you to the pastures wend, O Lord, the grazing herds of kine to tend, you bear the most delightsome, charming hue, more beautiful than tender lilies blue. Our minds, therefore, are filled with dire alarm. The sharp stones and prickles may cause you harm. At day's end, from the pasture you repair with loosened locks of blue-tinged curly hair, with tumbling tresses smeared with sweat and dust, beholding which we fall a prey to lust. Your tender lotus feet verily grant the wishes of the bowing supplicant, are worshipped by him from the lotus born, the surface of the earth those feet adorn, when in adversity and confusion, the proper object of meditation, O dearest lover, those lotus feet press on our bosom and assuage our distress. Beloved hero, when your flute you kiss, it augments pleasure of amorous bliss. The sweet strains thereof dissipates all woe, and makes mankind all other loves forego. Vouchsafe, dear Lord, and most magnanimous, the ambrosia of your lips to us. When each day to the forest you are gone, a tenth of a second seems an aeon. Since we do not behold your charming face, with which curly locks of sable tresses grace, we deem the demiurge who fashioned eyes by making lids that blink not very wise. Our husbands, sons, brothers, relatives too, we have abandoned all to come to you. Having Achyuta your flute's music heard, we have indeed been with enchantment stirred. And who would then fair damsels thus requite, forsaking them, O cheat, in the dark night? Your intimate and private colloquies causes Cupid within our hearts to rise. The smiles and laughter on your handsome face, your loving glances, radiating grace, to see your broad imposing ample chest, where the goddess of affluence finds rest. All this strong passion in our mind excites, and confusion repeatedly incites. For folk, O lover, who in Braja dwell, all their hard adversity you dispel. You are universal auspiciousness. Grant some portion of that physic to us, a little of that curative impart, which cures distemper in devotee's heart. Dearest Lord, your soft lotus feet we bear on our hard bosoms with all tender care. Wherefore, what time you to the forest go, we are perturbed and sore distressed with woe. Since you, more dear than life to us, remain, we cannot bear that you should suffer pain. And thus ends chapter 31 in Book 10 of the great and glorious Bhagavad Purana, the text beloved of swan-like saints, sung by the son of Vyasa. And I'll leave it there.
You're going to leave this. You're going to leave it there.
Yeah, because there's
why? I'm just getting into it.
Well, it'll be nice to do another video for the last two chapters because they are quite long as well. The actual Rasa Leela.
So
this is all this has been leading up to the Rasa Leela.
Right. So is the next chapters the Ras Leela?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you want to divide it because that will be okay. Oh, what a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, I'll turn it off then. Oh God, everybody is going to be feeling like me.
Well,